Good evening. Welcome to the June 24th, 2025 meeting of the Oshkosh Common Council. If the city clerk could please take the roll.
Larson.
Here.
Spanbauer.
Here.
Councilmember Flom is excused absent. Bulow.
Here.
Stevenson.
Here.
Councilmember Nichols is excused absent. Mugbauer.
Here.
We have 5 present.
Leading us in the invocation first, and then the pledge will be Councilmember Larson.
Thank you. We come together this evening to discuss the issues that confront our city. May we always seek the wisdom to do things that reflect our concern for the people whom we represent. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilmember Larson. We have one proclamation that's being issued. We're going to read that tonight, and then we'll move on to public statements and consent agenda following that. This is in regards to June 2025 is Pride Month, and we're recognizing that here within the city of Oshkosh. Whereas in 1969, the Stonewall riots in the Greenwich Village neighborhood of Manhattan, New York, marked a pivotal turning point in the fight for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer LGBTQ rights in the United States, and laid the groundwork for June to be recognized as LGBTQ Pride Month nationwide. And whereas members of the LGBTQ community in Oshkosh, across Wisconsin and the nation, and around the world have collectively worked for generations to overcome the discrimination on the basis of gender and sexuality, intersected by race, ability, and class, combating social stigma and demonstrating incredible resilience. And whereas this June, we recognize and celebrate the 10-year anniversary of the historic U.S. Supreme Court decision in Obergefell versus Hodges that struck down state law banning same-sex marriage and affirmed the constitutional right for same-sex couples to be able to legally marry in all 50 states. And whereas the city of Oshkosh is committed to fostering, cultivating, and preserving a culture of diversity and inclusion, and embrace and encourage our differences in race, color, religion, national origin, gender identity, sexual orientation, age, and ability. And whereas it is imperative that young people in our community, regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression, feel valued, safe, empowered, and supported by their peers and community leaders. And whereas the city of Oshkosh reaffirms its commitment to striving to be a place where every LGBTQ child, person, and family can stand boldly in their truth and be safe, treated with dignity and respect, and welcomed without fear of persecution, judgment, or discrimination. Now therefore I, Matt Mugrauer, Mayor of the City of Oshkosh, do hereby designate June 2025 as Pride Month in the City of Oshkosh. And I urge all residents to recognize the contributions made by members of the LGBTQ community and to actively promote the principles of equality, liberty, and justice. I also do know there is a City of Oshkosh sponsored Pride event this coming weekend, weather permitting at the Leach. Weather not permitting, I hear it's at the Oshkosh Arena, for those who are listening and interested.
And if it is moved to the arena, they do need lots of volunteers, so if you're available, please sign up online.
Thank you for that. Good reminder. We'll move on to public statements to council. I do have 2 people registered. David Schmidt first. Welcome, sir. If you could come up to this one.
Thank you, sir.
If you wouldn't mind this one, sir. Good evening and welcome.
Thank you. My name is Dave Schmidt. I live in the city of Oshkosh on Walnut Street on the north side. I'm president of the Fox River Wheelers Power Sports and chairman of the Winnebago County ATV-UTV Alliance Group. Good evening to all of you, and thank you for permitting me a moment for public comment to our city council members, our city staff, and residents of our vibrant historical city. I'm sure many of you are aware that last week Tuesday, our Alliance Group sought to make many needed changes, updates, and safety modifications to the Winnebago County ATV ordinance, which pertain to all-terrain and utility terrain vehicles, routes, and regulations across Winnebago County. The approved ordinance is a result of considerable efforts, discussions, research, support, and collaboration to achieve a positive approval with overwhelming support from the county board members. We believe this ordinance provides a framework that could be adaptable for consideration and approval within the city of Oshkosh, that similar such ordinances have been in many other communities across Wisconsin. Why is this so important? Wisconsin's tourism-based economy has benefited greatly from the economic impact of the dynamic growth of these family-friendly machines. An economic impact study conducted in 2023 studies showed that Wisconsin ranks #1 in all ATV and UTV areas, including $5.3 billion in annual economic revenue, with 512,000 registered machines at the end of 2024, and directly creating 39,000 jobs related to the industry. Wisconsin is home to more than 65,000 miles of road routes, trails, and byways, making us the #1 destination of choice for ATV and UTV owners in the country. Winnebago County ranks 14th in the state with nearly 10,000 machine registrations. We believe it's time for Oshkosh to become a destination of choice to capture the tourism dollars, enhance participation in our many events, local attractions, and beautiful freshwater surroundings, while increasing many welcome business opportunities for city business owners, hospitality owners, and our many residents. We stand ready to work with the city council and staff to adopt an ordinance that allows for the ATV and UTV use within the city, that enhances the way of life for the community, as well as brings in many more visitors through safe riding, uniformed law enforcement, and economic improvements, while promoting Oshkosh as a welcoming destination for the power sports community. Thank you.
Thank you. We also have, I think, Van Dyne Town Chairman Frank Frisetto, who you had registered, you wanted to speak on the, on our topic later in the evening. I think it had to do with the fire service, ambulance, ambulance service agreement. You were asking maybe to speak a little earlier, otherwise.
I have a meeting at 6:30 of planning and zoning, so I can wait and see how things go. It's up to you.
We won't move the topic up, but if you'd like to give us your statements, we'd be more than willing to oblige.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Welcome.
Well, it's good to be here. I must say, city council chambers are a little more intimidating than the town council room. I'm Frank Frisetto. I'm the town chairman in Black Wolf.
Excuse me, I said Van Dyne, I apologize.
We're all the same anyway. I live at 4610 Stonewood Court. I'm also the county supervisor for District 32, which is Black Wolf, Nakai, and 2 wards west of Utica, and then also Ward 28 here in the city of Oshkosh. And just last week, I got elected chairman of the Southern Winnebago Emergency Medical Service District, which is a group that was formed as we were coming out of discussions with the city of Oshkosh back in 2023, late August, regarding the EMS service that all the surrounding communities have been contracted with the city of Oshkosh. And that's really why I'm here tonight, is to speak on behalf of the surrounding communities that have formed that particular district. First, I want to really extend heartfelt thanks to the EMS service that Oshkosh provides. It is really exceptional. Back in 2022, the EMS Association awarded Oshkosh, a distinguished award as essentially the best, which I think is great. And it's something that all of our residents have benefited from. During the last contract, we did run into a bit of a snag because of the way the contracts are written. In August, at the end of, or August 2023, we were all meeting with the city of Oshkosh and the leadership at the time, and we were informed that the per capita rates were going to be essentially increased by 1,000%, which is obviously a huge hit. And as a result of that, we started looking at possibly ways that we could be working together, looking at phasing in some of these increases so that we could at least work with, coming up on budget time, we could work with our various boards and try to figure out a way to meet the financial demand of this particular service. We also were looking at the contract, in terms of how the methodology is determined, is through estimates rather than actual costs. So we were looking at a couple of those items. The long and the short of it is, we really didn't have much of standing when it comes to the dynamic between the city providing this service and the towns who were looking to provide this service on behalf of their residents. So hence the district was formed, because we think that's an opportunity for us to engage in a partnership with the city of Oshkosh as a service provider, and having a little bit more control over some of the finances that are very important to us at a town level, because, I mean, like you, our budgets are super tight. So we don't have a lot of room for flexibility when it comes to payment of services for our residents. And I also think that from the standpoint of a revenue stream for the city of Oshkosh, providing this service to the various communities is a nice revenue stream for you to have. So I want to make sure that we can strengthen the relationship that we have going forward, both as us clients and you as service providers. And that really is the purpose for this district when it really comes down to it. It's to make sure that we continue the relationship, we continue the dialogue, and also trying to solve some of the challenges that is evident throughout the state of Wisconsin and locally here in terms of finding paramedics to fill your service. So we think we want to be a good partner, we want to work with you, we just want to make sure that it's efficient and financially reasonable. That's I think what it comes down to. So I'm looking forward to I think a long and fruitful conversation. And when it comes down to the contract that we're currently in right now, it goes until 2026, and we would certainly encourage the city to follow that and engage in conversations so that we can not only have a service through 26, but also beyond. So I want to thank you very much as a council for the time, and I really appreciate you putting me up here so I don't come late to the county meeting. But thank you very much.
Thank you. I have no one else registered to speak under public statements. So we'll move on. Consent agenda. I have no one registered to speak on consent. I'll take a motion and a second for consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
I think Councilmember Larson would like to take something out.
Yep, number 41, please.
Sounds good. And then just a, for its, number 21, 25-320. Within the resolution itself, there is a misspelling of Oshkosh. If we could just, if we could catch that before it's final. Councilmember Bulow.
I just wanted to comment real quickly on item 42, removing somebody from a committee. That's not something that we do a lot, but it's something that when we made the reorganization of our committees, that we said we were going to be aggressive in making sure that the people that are there are showing up, and I wanted to point out that we're keeping that commitment, so thank you for that.
Any other comments on consent? If you'll take the roll on consent minus number 41, that's resolution 25-340.
Larson,
Aye.
Spanbauer,
Aye.
Bulow,
Aye.
Stevenson,
Aye.
Mughawar,
Aye.
carried 5.
Resolution 25-340, this is approve renewal of liquor licenses.
So moved.
Second. Discussion.
I'm sure it's apparent, but mine are in here, so I'm going to vote present.
Sounds good. Thank you. Any other discussion? If not, if you'll take the roll on 25-340.
Larson,
Present.
Spanbauer,
Aye.
Bulow,
Aye.
Stevenson,
Aye.
Mughawar.
Aye.
That carried 4-0-1 present.
Moving on to pending ordinances. These next three are their second readings. Ordinance 25-342, create section 17-22.1 and amend section 17-46 and 17-47 of the City of Oshkosh Municipal Code to prohibit unlicensed massage and bodywork therapy.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Please take the roll.
Larson,
Aye.
Spanbauer,
Aye.
Bulow,
Aye.
Stevenson,
Aye.
Mughawar.
Aye.
Carried 5.
Ordinance 25-343 approves zone change from urban mixed-use district to institutional district at 145 West 24th Avenue. Planning Commission recommends approval.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. I see none. Please take the roll.
Larson,
Aye.
Spanbauer,
Aye.
Bulow,
Aye.
Stevenson,
Aye.
Mughawar.
Aye.
Carried 5.
Ordinance 25-344 approves zone change from single-family residential 9 district to neighborhood mixed-use district for the property located at 1705 Oshkosh Avenue. Planning Commission recommends approval.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on this one? I see none. When you're ready, please take the roll.
Larson,
Aye.
Spanbauer,
Aye.
Bulow,
Aye.
Stevenson,
Aye.
Mughawar.
Aye.
Carried 5.
We have, looks like 5 new ordinances. This will be the first reading for all of them, and don't anticipate any action being taken this evening. Ordinance 25-345 approves zone change from heavy industrial district to heavy industrial district with a planned development overlay at 3200 North Main Street. Planning Commission recommends approval.
Give me 1 second. Just because I see the applicant here, is there anything you wanted to say on it tonight, or a reason that we need to move? Okay.
Ordinance 25-346, authorize public construction for Lake Butamore Development, Phase 2, 2,000 block of Olivia Road, and 3,500 block of Blair Boulevard. Ordinance 25-347, establish street grades at Lake Butamore Development, Phase 2, 2,000 block of Olivia Road, and 3,500 block of Blair Boulevard. Ordinance 25-348, amend Section 27A-11 of the Municipal Code pertaining to parking regulations on Eagle Street. And final new ordinance, 25-349, this will be to cancel the July 22nd, 2025, and December 23rd, 2025 council meetings. For those watching at home, July 22nd happens to be during the week of EAA, and it turns out that several council members and staff are have conflicting needs of their calendars on that night, and December 23rd, that's a normal cancellation for us the week of Christmas. We're just trying to be a little ahead of the game on that one. New resolutions, we got a few of them. Resolution 25-350, approve special event Oshkosh Jazz Inc. to utilize the 400 block of North Main for the Oshkosh Jazz Festival, August 23rd, 2025.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Councilmember Larson?
Just for fidelity, I'm present on this one as well, because my name is in here as well.
I don't see any other buttons. Take the roll on 25-350.
Larson,
Present.
Spanbauer,
Aye.
Bulow,
Aye.
Stevenson,
Aye.
Mughawar.
Aye.
Carried 4-0, 1 present.
Moving right along, Resolution 25-351, approve George Washington bus location, Parks Advisory Board and Plan Commission both recommend approval.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Buell, go ahead.
Just wanted to commend our staff on a great job working with neighborhoods and finding a great location for it.
Councilmember Larson?
Same. I know there are lots of people involved. This is going to be great. Thank you for all the work on it.
I see nothing else. Take the roll on 25-351.
Larson,
Aye.
Spanbauer,
Aye.
Bulow,
Aye.
Stevenson,
Aye.
Mughawar.
Aye.
Carried 5.
Resolution 25-352, rescind the portion of Resolution 25-21, approving the installation of sidewalks on both sides of Bay Street.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. I see none. Take the roll on 25-352.
Larson,
Aye.
Spanbauer,
Aye.
Bulow,
Aye.
Stevenson,
Aye.
Mughawar.
Aye.
Carried 5.
Resolution 25-353, approve 2025 budget amendment to Inspection Services Contractual Agreement Payment Fund in the amount of $15,000.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? I see you up here. Would you like to speak? You're more than welcome.
I'm just here to answer any questions. I usually try to keep my memos as succinct as I can and give you as much information as you guys need. This one's pretty straightforward. We had a staff member that resigned who was a plumbing inspector, and we have some workflow, so we are contracting with somebody to assist us just for 6 months. It's for just to see and to help us assist with some lead service lines and other issues that we've got.
We have pretty quick turnaround on permit approvals and things like that, especially compared to some of our surrounding communities. So this
We
is
sure do.
This is an effort to make sure that we're meeting the needs of not only our residents, but our businesses and anybody doing work in the city.
Yes, in particular because plumbing is specialized, and we only have one other staff member who is also the manager of this division, and he's got some other stuff he's working on. So we want to make sure to get him some little help in there.
Sounds good.
That's the
Thank
idea.
you. I see nothing else. If you'll take the roll on 25-353.
Larson.
Aye.
Spanbauer.
Aye.
Bulow.
Aye.
Stevenson.
Aye.
Mughawar.
Aye.
Carried 5.
Final new resolution 25-354, approved submittal of 2024 Community Development Block Grant Annual Action Plan, and the Plan Commission recommends approval.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on this? I see none. Please take the roll on 25-354.
Larson.
Aye.
Spanbauer.
Aye.
Bulow.
Aye.
Stevenson.
Aye.
Mughawar.
Aye.
Carried 5.
I get the feeling that
Be 25.
the interim community development director would like us to make sure that when that's published, it says 2025 and not 2024.
Matt called it. Yep. Big thanks to Emily. I know I had caught it earlier, but I think in the, haze, I didn't quite share that. So yes, that should be the 2025 annual action plan, because we're almost, we're done with 2024. Our timeline is done. So we're already in our 2025 action plan year.
Ms. Lawrenson, are you okay with how that was handled, or would you like us to do something different?
Separate motion?
Not even seeing where it is.
Oh, it's right here.
It's item 55.
Because the motion was for the 2024.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're okay.
We're okay.
Okay.
I figured
Yeah,
it might be
everywhere
okay.
within the memo references 25. So.
I was looking at the resolution and I couldn't find it.
All right, we're done with new resolutions. Moving on to the non-action items. Council discussion, direction to city manager, as well as future agenda items. First thing up, ambulance service agreement. City manager, do you want to start
Sure.
us off on this?
Yes. As the chairman of Black Wolf was here discussing, there was some increases to the staffing for the EMS service last year, and that also resulted in increases for the towns, but that was also a result of the fact that they hadn't been raised in quite some time. So the council approved adding a 4th ambulance, which was going to be adding 8 staff members to the fire service for a 4th EMS, for a 4th ambulance. And in discussions with the chief and HR, we've really had struggled hiring those staff positions in the fact that we weren't able to hire any. We know that there's additional retirements and coming up next year, and so we're not going to be able to likely staff that. And so we've had discussions about the impact on who we're contracting with. The contract does go through the end of 2026. We're just very challenged with the fact that we don't believe we're going to be able to provide the service past the end of this year. And some of the areas where we travel to, there's a lot of downtime impacting the city of Oshkosh residents, possibly in a negative manner. So we have been just discussing possibly having the council direct us to end that contract at the end of this year, except for the municipalities that are directly contiguous to us. the fire chief has indicated that we would still be able to service us with the 3 ambulance staffing that we have. And it would not impact us negatively from a revenue standpoint. It's a very difficult thing for us to be bringing to the council. Is not ideal. I've met with the different municipalities twice already. I let them know that this was going to be coming up to the council this evening, which is why Frank came to the council tonight. And then I did indicate that I would let them know after this what the council was directing us to do. There is a 90-day out clause that's, really impractical for us to be waiting 90 days, even a 6-month notification is quite challenging because obviously we're having difficulty hiring. That's not going to be different for anyone else. So that's a little bit of the overview. I don't know if the fire chief has anything else, but if you have any questions, just a really difficult situation that we're faced with at this point.
I don't normally do this, but before I go to you gentlemen, maybe a few other questions for clarification, just to keep the conversation going a little bit, and just to make sure it's clear for those reporting on it as well as listening on it at home. Kind of a multi-part thing here, actually. So the 4th ambulance, adding 8 additional firefighters, that was an on top of what we were already providing. So
Correct.
that's a challenge. We anticipated it could be a hiring challenge, but it's seeming to be an even more difficult one than we anticipated.
Yes.
But that's actually a separate thing from even just providing the service in general. So whether we did a 4th ambulance or not, we actually have staffing issues and service issues within our city boundaries.
Correct.
That is leading to at least city staff, and I do want to point out a new city manager, a new fire chief, and a new finance director have re-looked at some of the information we've been giving and reassessing the situation going forward, that may be a difficult task to even continue beyond 25. Am I laying that foundation pretty well?
Correct. When it was originally set up, it was not set up as a regional ambulance service. And that is really what it needs to be if it would be to continue that way. The way that we have our stations, the way that we're staffed, it's not practical on a long-term basis. So even if the council would not direct us to end it the end of 2025, I would, be asking that we don't go forward even after 2026, just for the simple fact that we cannot continue doing it the way that we're doing it. There's a negative impact to the city of Oshkosh residents to whom we're responsible for doing the right thing for.
And that was, I won't speak for all of council, but that was the reason for adding a 4th, was because
Correct.
we wanted to try to ensure as often as possible that a city of Oshkosh ambulance service, was showing up within moments, notice more often than not.
Yeah, but even despite that,
Yep.
traveling to those different areas will still result in a lot of down staff time, the cross ambulance, so we don't have the engines staffed in the way that if there's a fire. So there's a lot of moving parts, but yeah, thank you for asking for that clarification.
One other clarification, just to make sure we're clear. Those, I think you referenced only continuing to provide service to those that were contiguous.
Yes.
So off the top of my head, Town of Algoma is one, but can you tell me the other ones that you were?
Nakaimai and Black Wolf.
Just wanted to make sure we were clear on.
And I've talked with people from those municipalities. 2 of the 3 of them have expressed absolute interest in going forward depend on what the council decides. And if the decision is to end the contract, it ends it for everyone, so I would have to renegotiate, or we would have to renegotiate with the three remaining municipalities.
I promise, last question, and then I'll turn it over, because Mr. Frisetto touched on it just briefly. When we moved into when we made the update last year, we went to more of an actual cost model, because we tried to get much, much closer to an actual cost model. Because in the past, it wasn't even an estimate, it was a fraction of our true costs to provide the service. And we were trying to, nobody likes estimates, and we were trying to get closer to, here's what it's actually costing us to provide this service, and then dividing that service out to those that we were sharing or providing that to. Is that
Yes.
pretty fair?
It's my understanding that the way that we were doing it, we were providing an estimate to them, I believe, by the end of August or September for 2026 budgeting, but then they wouldn't be paying until 2027, and that would be based on actual costs. So there was an estimate, but then there was also an actual. But in the past, we were never charging them an actual. It was, as he said.
An astronomically low number.
Yes.
I'll say it very specifically. We were subsidized, the city of Oshkosh and its residents were subsidizing the EMS service to the surrounding townships for the last several decades.
Right. And ideally, we would have been updating that as time progressed, and this was just a way to rectify that
Okay.
at one point.
I've taken it long enough. Deputy Mayor Stevenson, followed by Councilmember Bulow.
Yeah, I think you covered a good amount of it. No, I thank you, Rebecca and Mayor, for laying that out. It's a tough decision, but I do think it's one we have to move forward with. We've tried to kind of maneuver this thing a handful of times. I know last year we did try to increase the cost to get it more, to show exact costs, what the costs of our citizens would be paying. And at the end of the day, for me, this is really a staffing issue. Even if we are getting those costs, even if we're getting the increased costs, we're not finding the staff to be able to do this. And we're also stretching our existing fire department thin right now. I mean, they're having to go out pretty far into the county right now, taking up time away from our citizens here in Oshkosh. So I'm in favor of trying to make sure that workload is better, make sure their work-life balance is better, and making sure we're also providing a quality service for citizens here in Oshkosh, albeit maybe some continuous municipalities if they wanted to join in as well, as long as they weren't too far away. But again, I really want to stress that this, for me, and I know for my other council members, is not an economics issue, it's not a money issue. We kind of tried to solve it that way, and it didn't work. This really is a staffing issue and an issue for our citizens. We want to make sure they have the best service possible. We want to make sure our staff is happy to be here and not stretched too thin. So,
Councilmember Bulow.
I just wanted to put some numbers on it because Mr. Frisetto was right. It was a 1,000% increase, and the reason why is because we were getting paid approximately $3.11 per capita for the outlying townships, and Oshkosh City residents were paying approximately $31. That's a 1,000% increase. That also, just like Mr. Mayor said, that is us subsidizing the service to the outlying townships. Mr. Frisetto also said, it's a revenue stream for us. Well, it isn't. It's just there to cover the cost, and it can't even do that right now. If you know anybody who wants to become an EMS firefighter, please let us know. Our chief is back there ready to hand out business cards, I know. But in lieu of being able to staff the stations, I know I've said this before in private, and I'll say it in public. I wasn't elected by anybody in Black Wolf or Algoma because they weren't allowed to vote for me. I'm elected to serve Oshkosh, and so I have to think about that when I vote. And so I will be unfortunately supporting ending the relationship at the end of 2025 because I think it's the only responsible thing to the citizens that I do represent. And if we can bring in the contiguous services, I am all for that. But it's the citizens of Oshkosh that I need to represent when I make my nodding head up here.
I won't be asking for a nodding head. I will ask for an actual yes or no on something.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
if I
City
could just
Manager.
add one thing, I think what we're looking for, if the council moves forward with this, is the authority for us to negotiate with those contiguous communities just for 2026. Going forward after that, I think, and we'll be working with them, going forward after that, I think we need to have some more discussions about how this looks on a bigger scale, and also there's some opportunities for possible joint departments, fire, EMS, and things like that. There's advantages from a levy limit perspective. Also, there's an innovation grant that the state has open. They'll be coming out in the next month as far as the regulations, that if there's some cost savings, the municipalities can get some innovation fund, and that has to do with joint services, transfer services, and things like that. So just wanted to put that out there, as that is more of a future discussion, but I think there has to be an understanding about that at this point, because these are not things that can just happen overnight. Right, Lynn?
Councilmember Larson.
Sure, Rebecca, thank you for that especially. That was kind of where I was going with this. This is, I mean, in a perfect world, this is something that not council, but all the citizens of Oshkosh would have heard about 15 years ago. It would have been great to have been able to proactively work towards some of this then. I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but I was taken aback when this came up the first time to hear that those dollar amounts were, as Councilor Bulow explained, a huge discrepancy, and it's not unfair to say that we were subsidizing our neighbors with EMS services for a long time. So again, just to echo some of this, our job and our responsibility is the folks who live in Oshkosh, both fiscally and from a safety perspective. So I know it's a super tough thing, but it's something that I think we need to do, and to know that we can move forward and make it better going forward is even better. So I'll be supportive of staff doing exactly what you just described, and thank you for doing so.
Anything you want to, before I say something?
My first button. No, I would.
I got a call on you, Councilmember Spanbar.
Thank you.
My first time doing that for you, too.
Thank you. I agree with everything that has been said, and one thing that I've benefited from was department visits, and got to visit with the fire department very early on in my first couple months here, and so learned very, very quickly about the services that are being offered, and sort of the a lot of the everything that the other council members have laid out. So I would agree with the direction as Rebecca's described.
Before I do my part, Chief, anything that you want to? I don't mind.
He's bringing a book.
Well, I don't mind putting the new chief on the hot seat.
No, that's all right. Thank you very much. No, I think Rebecca laid out everything pretty well. I just want to thank the council for listening. I know several of you have visited already the fire stations. As I became new, it's been nice to meet everybody and listen to our concerns and our challenges that we're facing. So very appreciative of that.
Well, then I'm going to ask for I'm going to poll council on the following question. To give direction to city staff, tell me if I'm wrong on any of this, to give direction to city staff to terminate the existing contract partnership regarding our ambulance service agreement effective end of '25, and then to negotiate a new contract with the contiguous townships, that would be Algoma, Nakama, and Black Wolf, for a service for 2026 only at this time. You good with that language?
Yes, and we'd be probably bringing a resolution to the
This
council
is
at
just
the
us,
next meeting.
since I can't do head nods, I gotta ask, I gotta give them a specific question. That's
Yes.
what I've been, that's what I've been advised by my fellow council members we need to do.
Yes, and can I add one more thing?
You sure
then?
can absolutely do that.
Then perhaps the direction to the move, to look at options for 2020, beyond 2026.
Absolutely, to also, I think the specific kind of language would be like to pursue some sort of either joint fire district, to be able to use innovation fund type ideas, to look beyond that.
Thank you.
Is that a long enough question for you guys to give me a yes or a no to? I'll go right down the line. Mr. Spanbar?
Yes.
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson? Yes. Mr. Larson?
Yes.
I'm also a yes as well. I know, I hope the surrounding townships, especially their leadership, understand, and I hope they really do, the position that that we were in, and that we're continuously in. We share that with them. They make tough decisions for their residents every day, week, month, and year. And in the end, as I think Mr. Bulow said it, first and foremost, my fidelity, my allegiance is to those 67,000 plus in the city of Oshkosh and every business and visitor that chooses to come here. And that has to come first, always. If we have the ability to create partnerships that are mutually beneficial, then always game for those. But once the partnership doesn't work, it's time to revisit that and relook and try to figure out the best path forward. And I think that's where we're at this time in this place, is a different path forward. And I know it's not an easy one for those townships to hear, but this is the best path for us, Oshkosh Fire Department, moving forward. So, anything else anybody wants to add on that? Okay, we'll move on. Next thing up, this will be kind of a follow-up to our closed session at the before this meeting. Direction to staff regarding recommendations from the final report from Ramble America's Engineering Solutions. This is regards to the investigation of the box culvert along Iowa Street and West 7th Avenue. I don't know where staff, are you prepared to start this one, or do you want us? We didn't ask. I should have asked you ahead of time how you wanted to kick this thing off, Mr. Robbie. I'm happy to if you want me to, but maybe a brief synopsis of where we are, how we got here, that would allow us to then start forming how we want to.
Yeah, this is a continuation of previous items that we've had under discussion and direction to city manager. As you're aware, last year in 2024, we reconstructed a portion of 7th Avenue, Iowa Street in Michigan. We stopped at Michigan. The storm sewer system, replacing the box culvert that is the enclosure of Stringham Creek through that area. After that time, some of the residents came to us and came here before you and reported having some issues with water in their basements. At that time, council directed staff to engage with a consultant to help us try to figure out potentially what might be going on. So we started that analysis with Ramble Americas and one of their sub consultants to do an investigation of the box culvert system. That investigation that they conducted included several different types of tests. To be precise, there were 4 different types of tests that were conducted. Those included operating a remote operated vehicle, an ROV, through the storm sewer system while it was still underwater. So basically a remote control submarine going through and looking at the box culvert system. They did dye testing. They did an electro connectivity test where they put an electrode outside the box culvert and on the remote operated vehicle inside the box culvert to see if there was, current connecting through the box culvert system. So there were a number of different tests conducted. The results of that report, or that report has been presented to you, I believe is attached again tonight, indicating that the box culvert is showing no significant signs of any defects that would be contributing to leakage. During staff's discussion with Ramble Americas, they threw out some potential next steps if we wanted to go that route, but there were no recommendations in the report for additional work to be done. So as we talked about at a previous meeting, you kind of said, no, let's hold off on this discussion. Let's have some more discussion about it and bring this back again. So that's where we're at tonight.
Appreciate the synopsis. I guess for council on this particular topic, I should have asked City Manager, do you want to add anything to that, or are you good?
No, I don't have
Okay.
anything.
In regards to the topic, I know we have discussed it in open forum. I've had a number of residents write, call, email, visit, come right here to council and chat with us as well. Is there at this time any, I guess, any interest in giving further direction to city staff regarding any additional efforts regarding this topic in this area? Councilmember Larson?
I'll chime in just to get you started. It's a really tough subject for me. I know we've talked about it a bunch. I've had a lot to say about it already. We've spent six figures trying to figure out something on this, and that's good. I think we've done some due diligence. I don't know that there will ever be an end or a point where we can say we've done everything we can do. But now is a really tough decision, right? Because we've done a lot, and the big expensive study didn't have anything saying that they would help know what happened next if we did more. So I'm really torn, but I don't know what the next step would be. So this seems like a point to sort of say we've done sort of what we can and keep looking at other options, but I don't know what else to tell you. There's not a lot else we can do, and I feel like we've done quite a bit.
Floor is yours if you'd like, Mr. Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, I would agree. I think in this instance, we have gone above and beyond to try to figure out if there are any issues. Everything we've seen from our testing is that there's not. We know that this, well, we don't know a lot about it, but we know that this is not, I think, on our end. And I think the unknowns of just being this far off the water level, and a number of other things, I mean, I don't think we're in a position to try to fix this or to move forward with anything, I guess is where I'm trying to get at. So while I do think we've done our due diligence, I don't know if there's a solution right here, so.
Mr. Buelow?
In terms of direction to staff regarding this, unfortunately, at this point, I can't, in good faith, like, open the wallet more, unless there's something you're gonna tell me that, hey, this is a test that I think has a good probability of telling us what we can do, or this fix has a good probability of solving it. So I am glad that we went above and beyond and did what we did, and got this report, and at this point, my direction would be that we do not move forward.
Anything? Hate to put you on the spot. Councilmember Spanbar?
I concur.
No, I agree. I can, I empathize with anybody's situation where they feel negatively impacted by something. In this case, to the points that have already been laid out, we've done some extensive testing, investigation, very scientific, in terms of trying to figure out if something is occurring that's within our purview. And up to this point, everything has come back that our systems are working as designed. They're performing nominally, and I think any direction at this point would be just picking a dart and throwing it at the wall and seeing where it hits. And I can't give any specific direction either, so unless I hear something specific from council, I think the topic will die here. And there'll be no specific direction given to staff on this topic to move forward.
Does that give you your direction?
Thank you.
Okay.
Do we have to say yes to the negative?
I told you I was going to get thrown off tonight.
Future agenda items.
There we go. Moving on, future agenda items, meetings, workshops. Tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Up here on the fourth floor, we have a CIP and operating budget workshop. That was noticed, and there's some background material out there for anyone interested in some light reading before bedtime this evening. We also have a workshop August 12th, 5 p.m. This is regarding the matrix development process and code analysis review. And another workshop August 26th at 5 p.m. regarding the Washington housing development. And I believe I had seen an email earlier. There will also be a workshop on the July 8th meeting. Can you remind me? To discuss code enforcement and the C-Click Fix software application that we currently employ. So that'll be at the next meeting. And then a reminder that we won't be meeting the second Tuesday in July. Any council member announcements and statements? The rest is yours, Ms. Brill. City manager announcements and statements.
The first item is, we'd like to advise you about is the festival food fireworks, and Kathy's here to provide information about that.
Welcome.
Hi. So as some of you may already be aware, because we did start getting this out to the public just recently, the Festival Foods Fireworks Show this year, 4th of July, will be hosted again at Menominee Park. However, there will be a new launch location. So if you look at this map here, you'll see that the new launch location is actually going to be off of Ames Point this year. We moved to having a new vendor this year. Our previous vendor was no longer available to provide that service. And so looking into this, we were able to find that utilizing Ames Point this year will actually reduce the amount of setup time in the park and still provide a great opportunity for viewing for all of those attending. What we've done with this map is kind of showed a variety of locations throughout the park. The Oshkosh Parks Department is still going to put on and bring in food trucks. We have different food truck courts, as you can see on the map. They're anywhere from the north end to down to south of the Reeds Ball Diamonds. So we'll have a variety of food trucks in each of those areas, along with portalets available in each of those locations as well. The circle in and around that launch area that you see there is actually going to be a no boat zone. So for safety reasons, that's going to be our fallout zone. Nobody will be allowed into that area. We are working with the Winnebago County Sheriff's Department, and they will be patrolling that area that evening as well. The setup will actually start on the 3rd, and we're working both with our Oshkosh Police Department and the vendor for this year to keep that shut down. That area on Ames Point will be closed then July 3rd through July 5th in order to allow for setup and cleanup of everything that needs to be there. Any questions?
Well, hopefully the weather holds off, but if we can't blow them off on the 4th, you want to tell me when we get to see them anyways?
On the 5th. That has been a standard for the city of Oshkosh, always on the 4th. Rain date is always on the 5th.
Well, hoping for
good weather.
Clear weather for next week, Friday the 4th, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a great location, and I'm glad we get to keep using our Pride and Joy Menominee Park to continue to show off for thousands of people. And I know council has spoken about, the personal fireworks every once in a while. This is a fantastic show. Partner with Festival Foods.
Yes.
We're going to light off several thousands of dollars worth of explosives over 45, 60 minutes, and invite everybody and anybody down to Menominee Park to enjoy the festivities safely. So,
absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Items 59 and 60 are just draft policies that we've talked about before. The council's been asking for us to provide this, so the intention is that we would provide the draft policies tonight, and then on the next meeting, it would be under the direction to city manager, so you could let us know how you'd like us to move forward at that point.
I want to say thank you for that.
I was going to say, I'd love that timeline.
It's amazing.
It's a simple thing, but from this side of it, we appreciate that we get 2 weeks to ask questions and read it once or twice before we have to start discussing it. So
Staff did a great job of bringing that together. So.
Excellent work. If there's nothing else, I think Deputy Mayor has a motion for us.
I moved convene into closed session pursuant to Section 19.85, Sub 1, Sub C of the Wisconsin State Statutes to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. And this one will be specific to the city manager.
Take a second, please.
Second.
Any discussion? Please take the roll on motion to go into closed session.
Larson?
Aye.
Spanbauer?
Aye.
Bulow?
Aye.
Stevenson?
Aye.
Mughawar?
Aye.
Carried 5 to go into closed session.
I'll take a motion and a second to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.